10 years ago, a motion picture became the most notorious cult movie of all time. Predictably, the French called it a masterpiece. The name of this legend of cinema. The Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. It was so stupid, so cheap, such a piece of steaming dog flop. You think it would have attracted horseflies. Never an audience. Now, get ready to sit on your intelligence once again. They made the sequel, The Return of the Killer Tomatoes. Guess what? It's a lot better. It had to be. As you remember, 10 years ago, mankind was threatened with the greatest red menace of all. Angry, merciless, Killer Tomatoes. We were only saved thanks to the heroism of a brave handful of untalented actors.
Are you Rob Lowe?
No, they're back.
This time, we shall not fail!
Oh, mad scientist.
My tomatoes can be made to resemble anyone.
Together with a yuppie pervert, turn embittered, mean-spirited tomatoes into an army of psychotic, neo-Nazi plant life. And let's not forget the stunning hell-spawned creation who just might put out for the entire planet.
Do you want to make love? I also cook 815 international dishes and use all the popular home appliances.
You'll see atrocities beyond belief.
You can't see your feet. Do the words fat cow mean anything to you?
You'll see how producers extracted special favors from certain well-endowed performers. It's got more laughs than out of Africa. It's gayer than Kiss of the Spider-Woman.
The girl of my dreams is a vegetable.
She,
You wouldn't believe what she can do with 6 milk bottles and a tuning fork.
the return of the Killer Tomatoes.
Definitely a learning experience.
Welcome, boys and ghouls, to another installment of Monster Mike's Mayhem. On today's special installment, I want to talk about something near and dear to Monster Mike's heart, none other than 1978's Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. I thought maybe since we're getting into May and it's planting season, and I usually plant around this time. Actually, Monster Mike does a lot of things. I like to plant flowers and tomatoes around the springtime in the last 15 years. Something that you didn't know about old Monster Mike. And I thought I'd talk about this fuzzy tomato, or aka FT, in front of you. This was a prop that was used as a, in the film Attack, a Return of the Killer Tomatoes in 1988 by New World Pictures. This is a rare prop. I just happened to acquire it from a guy that acquired some weird, quirky props from the 70s, 80s, and 90s from different films and stuff, and we did a trade for this bad boy a few years back. A little bit of back information on the Return of the Killer Tomatoes was filmed by New World Pictures when it was released on VHS, and it was shortly released in the theaters back in 1988 by New World, and it starred John Astin as Putrid Gangrene, and then you got a young George Clooney that starred in that movie, and the movie budget was so low, like they said in the trailer that you just heard. They had to get sponsorship from Pepsi and A1 steak sauce and stuff like that. And in the movie, since the Great Tomato Wars of '78, they had to start using other items and other products to make pizzas with. Instead of using pizza sauce, tomato, obviously. Finletter's Pizza would use like jam and jellies and peanut butter and sour cream and said really disgusting things to make their pizzas, because he worked at Finletter's Pizza, and that was his uncle that fought in the Great Tomato Wars, okay? And Putrid Gangrene was working on a chemical to make transform these regular tomatoes into these fighting warriors, and he accidentally made Tara Bombay, which is also in the film, really pretty actress. If you ever watch the movie Return of the Killer Tomatoes, you'll see her. She's been in a few other movies and you know, from the different era, but she is brought back, and she is one of his experiments that went wrong but went well, because she's a good person and she's not an evil person like Putrid Gangrene and Igor. So what happens is, in front of you is a 1988 prop from Return of the Killer Tomatoes, which is the FT, which is Fuzzy Tomato. And what happens is Putrid Gangrene makes another experiment, and it turns into a hairy tomato. And he doesn't like it, so he throws it away, and Tara Bombay takes it as a pet. And in the movie, you see him wearing a hat and sunglasses, and he's chilling with Tara. And they later meet, you know, Finletter at Finletter's Pizza, and that becomes the whole premise of the movie, trying to fight Putrid Gangrene and Igor from taking over the world with these tomato warriors. And they don't want to do that, because they'll be attacked by these tomato warriors. And Putrid Gangrene has a army that he's going to situate. He's going to make this army, and he's trying to make this army of these monsters. And he facilitates these tomatoes, and he's trying to make this army of army men that grow these tomatoes. It's a crazy movie. It was on a shoestring budget. And this prop in front of you guys, like I said, is FT, aka Fuzzy Tomato, from 1988's Return of the Killer Tomatoes from New World Pictures. It is actually made of this rubber material. It's like almost like a ball, and they put this squeaky voice box piece in it, and they attach the stem legs and the you know, the top and everything. And what they did was, to make him talk, they would rattle him. Tara would rattle him, or, you know, George Clooney's character or something, and it would make this squeaky, and he would talk like that. And that was a kind of a thing for studios back in the 70s and 80s and 90s to save money. They would find ways of making items that they could do that they wouldn't have to pay a lot of money for. And the trick is to make him talk without it making any sense. So they would run it through a mixer, and it would sound like he was muffling like that. And that's how he got his voice back in '88. Just a little tidbit of information from all you monsters out there in Monsterland. If you guys like this kind of stuff, stay tuned, because I'm going to have some more awesome Killer Tomato toys coming up in the near future of June and the summer of 2026. We're going to be exploring some of these weird toys that this one-off movie had produced. This movie grossed so much money in the box office on VHS, and then they went straight to VHS with part 2, Killer Tomatoes Strike Back, and part 3, Killer Tomatoes Strike Back, and then part 4 was Killer Tomatoes Eat France, with none other than Mark Price, that played in Trick or Treat around the late 80s as well. And he was also Skippy in Family Ties. Just another tidbit of information for all you monsters out there thirsting for knowledge on these crazy, weird movies. I suggest if you guys want to see this movie, I would go out and check it out. It could be on Tubi, it could be on DVD. Find a copy, watch it. It's a weird one-off type spin-off of the movie. I personally like the film. I gotta say it's probably my favorite out of all four. Now they did Fox made a cartoon in '91 that ran for a couple of seasons. It went out and it went off. And that's when Mattel and Applause and all these other companies, Ruby's Costumes and the Thermos Lunchbox, they started making lunchboxes, PVC figures, action figures of these toys. And Mattel jumped on board and made a small run. These are some of the hardest toys I'm going to show you guys in the upcoming episodes. You're going to see some of the hardest toys to come by ever. I've been doing this for 37 plus years. I've been collecting. And I have only found a few of them in the wild. You have to either locate them on eBay, Instagram, Amazon, Etsy, Facebook Marketplace to hunt these things down. You can't find them at like your local garage sales or flea markets or even your local thrift stores in the area. I've looked. I've only found one in 27 years. I found one at a thrift store slash flea market back in the day, and that was in the early 2000s, and it was a loose one, and it was Tomato Missing Link, and he was missing his little human counterpart. But I'm going to be showing you guys all this coming up, so stay tuned, monsters that are thirsting for knowledge on this crazy, weird, kooky, spooky stuff. It's coming your way this summer of 2026. So I just want to take a quick moment to show you guys the detail. There's the stem and there is the leaves, and it is actual red fuzzy hair. Just like in the movie, this prop is probably over 41 years old or something. Here's the leaf feet. It is a very old prop. It's over 40 years old. You're not going to see this prop hold up the test of time because these props were made to falter and fail, and they just scrapped them and threw them in the trash after production was over. Luckily, one of the guys grabbed it and kept it for many years in storage and then gave it to me as a trade a few years back. I acquired this, I think, about 2014 or something. In a whimsical trade with another collector that is kind of a oddball collector like me that likes weird, crazy stuff from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. I do collect some 50s stuff, not much. I'm more of a slasher and zombie guy. All you monsters out there know me pretty well by now. That's the hair. And it just really the hair has been attached to that. I believe it's a volleyball material, and the props man just threw it together in a matter of hours at the prop shop in California back in the day, and they just put it on set, and Clooney and all of them just used it. You know, it was just whatever they could get the time to do, and it was one of them things where they had to do what they had to do to get the item to even work. And back in the day, so, you know, whatever they could do to get that to work, they would do it. And it was one of them types of movies that was so low budget that they had to get these sponsors to even do the movie, like Pepsi and Doritos chips and stuff like that. And the movie was such an oddball thing that I don't even know how to even describe it. I mean, John Astin was paid pennies on the dollar to be Putrid Gangrene, and, you know, Igor, and, you know, George Clooney was a buddy that worked at Finletter's Pizza, and, you know, Terror Bombay, and, you know, it was just a weird movie to follow up the original Attack of the Killer Tomatoes from 1978. which was 10 years coming. And they would literally do stuff in the movie, like they'd stop the movie and say they were running under budget and they need more money to cover the movie. I mean, it was the craziest thing I've ever seen New World Pictures do. And I have some props from the New World Pictures from over the years and stuff I collected, but this is one of my really awesome Grell pieces I acquired years ago, probably 10, 12 years ago. And it's just been sitting in my Killer Tomatoes collection for many years, just sitting on the shelf. And he is just as good looking as he was over 40 years ago on screen with George Clooney. And now Clooney is a big star and stuff, but it's so funny. I mean, Fuzzy Tomato is just as big as a star as George Clooney, because, you know, he was the center focus of this movie, and it was really Putrid Gangrene's failure. That's why he got rid of it. And same thing with Tara Bombay. She was a failure failed experiment as well. So these this is a kind of a weird one-off. If you guys like these weird one-off movies, and I make suggestions on this channel over the years about what I thought was cool or whatever. And I have a subscriber that has been bugging me to do this, show this plush, you know, for about a year now. And just a shout out to that subscriber. I'm doing this for you, bud. I'm finally pulling him off the shelf, dusting him off of the old Monster Mike bolts, and bringing him out and showing you guys for the first time in 10 or 12 years this beautiful prop from New World Pictures, 1988 return of the Killer Tomatoes, Fuzzy Tomato FT. Yeah, I've had offers on this thing and stuff too, and like I said, my subscribers, I've got a couple of subscribers that really like my content, and I talk to them. I appreciate you guys contacting me and messaging me through my YouTube channel, and I will answer any questions you guys got. Yes, I do trades and I do sell items from my channel. How he got spotted was a buddy of mine that has a YouTube channel called Froggy Flips, Anthony Scroggs. He was doing a piece on me about a year ago, or maybe a year and a half ago. And he's been to my Monster Mike's vaults over the past couple of years. He's bought some Monster Mike gems over the years, and he ran a video about a while back, and one of the subscribers had noticed the video that Anthony Scroggs put up from Froggy Flips. If you guys ever get a chance, check out Froggy Flips. He's got some awesome videos. He's seen this piece, and he reached out to me. And I'm doing this for the subscriber because he's been really looking forward to seeing this up close. You know, I pulled him off the shelf, dusted him off the old Monster Mike bolts just to show you guys out there in Monsterland. So this is a piece that I'm really proud of to own from New World Pictures. A lot of this stuff gets thrown away, folks. It just gets trashed. After productions wraps, that's what they do. So if you guys like these videos, please like and subscribe. And until next time, kiddies, stay tuned and get monstified.